Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here at Wyvern Kodiak. Got Chris and Sam in the room. Before we get started, I'd love to encourage you to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about the Spartan Harsey. And man, this is an absolutely stunner. Looking at this knife, this is the Battle of Thermopylae. So the Spartan movie, this is Sparta, the whole kick. That's what this is inspired by. You've got that beautiful titanium gray handle with some gold and black accents in there, or flourishes as they call them. Absolutely stunning knife. I was able to pick this up here recently in a trade, and certainly feel like I got a great value out of my trade. On this is a knife that's pretty substantial in size. If we compare it to the PM2 as well as the PM3, you can see that is an absolute monster. So overall size on this, 4 inches on the blade, 9 inches, from tip to point. Got a flat ground. They call it a spear point. I think it looks more like a drop point to me, but William Harsey knows more than I do. So we'll go with what he says it is. This knife has plenty of jimping, which, if you've watched any of our videos, that's really important to me. Especially on something that's as heavy as this. Great pocket clip. Though I've not put this in my pocket. I've had it for a few weeks now and not carried it at all. It's just I've admired it, and I've sat and really just played with these bearings. It deploys exceptionally well. It's so smooth. Here recently, Sam and I went to a show, and they had a Chris Reeves on there that was really difficult for me not to purchase. And this feels like the exact same, as people say, hydraulic feeling, and that's what this feels like. It just is so smooth, on the closing. A little bit of small details in this. Like when this opens, like when I go to hit the thumb stud, this funnel takes you straight there, and it just feels very well done. Puts you in the perfect position to launch. You can get the thumb studs. You can front flip. It's got just enough of a tab to be able to front flip that. Overall, it's a beautiful knife. It feels outstanding in the hand. Just some small micro milling. The details on this thing are just absolutely spectacular. Look down inside. Nice look at the stop pin in there, as well as the phosphorus bronze washers. You see fit and finish on this, absolutely spectacular. Sam, you have any thoughts on the Spartan Harsey?
Chris, I had a Harsey, but I had the small version, the 3¼ inch blade, and it wasn't for me. It was one of those knives that just you really had a whole lot of hope for, but when you got it, it just didn't work. It wasn't that the knife itself wasn't good; it just wasn't the type of knife that I prefer. That being said, I think overall, the large one is really, really nice. I like it a lot. The only one small ribbing I have on it is the access to the lock bar could be better. I think that for you, it is okay because of the way you unlock it in a reverse claw, if you will. But for me, I handle my knife that way. And with that, it creates a little bit more of a challenge for me to get in there from the top like that. So that's my only knock on the knife. But to be honest with you, it would not prevent me from buying it.
Yeah, I agree that if we're looking for areas of opportunity, that's certainly one. It feels like this is completely flush, which, by the way, makes it feel amazing and being locked in the hand. Because again, I can't express just how sharp this jimping is on both the tops and the bottom. So man, I feel really locked in. Like, yeah, this would shred my hands in the pockets, or excuse me, without gloves on if I was doing really heavy work. But that would be something to be able to have that to be opened up a little bit easier. In particular, if I had gloves on. But you're right. I open it from the side, yeah, and then let the blade fall that way. Let's go to some final thoughts on this one, Sam. So, Sam, some final thoughts on the Spartan Harsey is that I absolutely love this knife. I think that I've not used it, so I can't say from a performance perspective, but just how it fits in my hand. I love the texture of it. I love that smooth, feeling. Again, it's not a loud, fidgety knife, but there's just something about the opening and closing up that I like. I mean, all the small details, like even just the arrow inside of the pocket clip, finish wise for me, it's absolutely stunning, and I love it.
So yeah, again, as I said before, the small version didn't fit me well. The big version feels really, really good. I really, really like it. The action is very different, and I think that has to do with the blade weight carrying it a little bit. That being said, that glassy feeling that you're talking about is fantastic. Recently I had gotten the Ray Laconico, a couple of Ray Laconico knives that are very similar to the way this feels. That glassy feeling. They'll drop shut to your nail, but they're not. You shake them shut after, and this thing is really, really nice. I love the details on it. I think the artwork on it is beautiful.
That laser etching is stunning.
Yeah, the the jimping on this thing is wild. I mean, this is here. I mean, this will take your skin off if you keep rubbing it. Down here, I mean, this locks you in. I would think that if you were really hard using this knife without a glove on over a period of time, it might grind you a bit. But other than that, I mean, I really, really do think this is a spectacular knife.
Yeah, I've got indoor desk hands. It would definitely chew up my hands.
Yeah, we both do, right? We're both not blue collar workers. So that being said, I go back to what I said before. My one gripe is just the access to the lock bar. If they gave me a little bit on the show side of the scale to expose the lock bar, and maybe if they put a chamfer or a scallop on this and then put some texture on it, maybe even then you wouldn't even need it. But it is flat, and then it's flat.
If it was jimped like the rest of it, yeah, it would. But you'd grab right onto it.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, it is beautiful. It is solid. It is beautiful action. It is great fit to the hand. There's nothing not to like about this knife, Chris.
Yeah. Well, oftentimes there's a price for quality, right? And so this is $575 knife on their website. It's currently sold out, but that's a lot of money to spend. And the other day I was thinking, it's something we ought to discuss is if I could only keep 3 or 5 or whatever the arbitrary number is, knives in my collection that cover me for all circumstances and situations, well, this would be one of them. I think this is absolutely a great heavy use knife if I can never buy another knife again. You know, you had talked about the knock being on access to the lock bar. I think the only other thing that I would point out is there's absolutely zero finger or sharpening choil. So, you know, that could be a problem, you know, going to sharpen it. But yeah, two things. Yeah, two things out of all of them. And but like I said, I think that the tolerances are really tight. I think that the being on the phosphorus bronze washers definitely makes it a long-term hard use knife. That
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that this isn't one of my favorite knives. It's one that I would keep with me. However, I doubt this ever leaves my collection. But I say not one of my favorites from a use standpoint, unless things were terribly different and I could only have a handful of knives and it had to turn into a user, then I'd have to put a lot of thought into that. But this would probably definitely then become one of my favorites because it would stand up to all that heavy use.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. And I'm not even gonna. I can't. It's not my knife. I haven't spent a lot of time with this one, so I won't answer for what if this would make that in my collection type of thing. It's a Magna cut blade, so I mean it does certainly warrant that spot size and use case and all that. I'd have to give it some thought on that, but yeah, absolutely. This thing is a hard use designed knife. Now, obviously, the pretty part of this one, the aesthetics that they've put into this, yields this more for let me show you this in a case than to beat this up on a construction site. But that being said, the roots of this are still there. Yeah. And I'll add one other thing. USA made company out of North Carolina. And I can tell you that I had an issue with my Harsey. It wouldn't lock up right. I could not get lock rock out of it. I could not get the blade to stop rocking. I have tightened it every which way. I have changed. I took the whole thing apart. I put it back together. I just couldn't get it right. And I called them up and I said, I need to send this in. They gave me their address. I sent it in. I think I sent it on a Saturday. The Tuesday after, I got a message from them that it was delivered there. That afternoon, I got shipping instructions from them that they were sending it back. A, that means I'm an idiot and I couldn't fix my knife. B, is that they turned it around that quick and got it back to me. I got it that Thursday. Okay, no charge. They sharpened the knife for me beautifully, put a beautiful edge on that thing. They cleaned it all up. They got it right. And that's it. You know, I think it says a lot when you are taking care of your customer base that way and you stand behind your product that way. So,
you know, Sam, I like to expand on that story because you bought that knife secondhand.
I did. So,
and you told them that you bought it secondhand and you were concerned that you might have a fake, and they were like, you know, send me pictures, and then, nope, that's ours. Send me the knife. So I'm wondering if they had to swap out some of the internals because it might have been taken apart and had the wrong things put back in.
Possible. It could, and look, it could have been a new pivot or something like that in there too.
Yeah. The right size washers.
Yeah, right size washers, because that was another story altogether. But overall, the point of what I'm saying is the experience that I got from the customer service was spectacular, and that makes me a big fan. When you're willing to take care of your customers that way and stand behind your product that way, you'll always win my business. And as far as I'm concerned, that earned mine.
Yeah. You know, I'd wanted one of these for quite some time. I always thought, you know, saw them and I admired them. And Certainly not disappointed. And like you said, then when you get amazing local quality service, even better.
Yeah. So at $575, for me, it's a buy, but that's a market that I play in for knives. For somebody else that may not be able to afford a knife of that price, it may not be a buy. If you're not willing to spend $575 to put something in a showcase, or if you're not really looking to intend to use the hell out of it, it may not be a buy. That's my conclusion on this.
Yeah, and for me, it was a trade, and I traded a knife I got an incredible deal on that was considerably less valuable than this, but the person that had this was like, "Hey, I want what you have," and he offered this in the trade. Like, yes, please. So I couldn't have been happier, and he and I have chatted since, and he couldn't be happier. So it worked out really, really well.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's like that, right? If you've got something you don't want, value up, value down, it's valueless to you when you don't like it. So getting something you do like in trade presents value either which way.
Yeah.
So anything else to add to this, buddy?
I would just say tell us your experience with Spartan. If you've got a Harsey or any of their other blades, let us know in the comments.
Appreciate it. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.